Double room for naughty girl for exchange of favours. Female tenant needed. Cheap rent. Contact me to discuss. The government says these ads are illegal, but no one else seems to care. I'm going undercover to meet the landlords who are offering free rent in return for sex, and a vulnerable woman who experienced the riskier end of these arrangements.
One guy expected me to sleep with him, but then also put in about having group sex with a lot of his friends. So he's sort of getting a bit of a dangerous cycle.
So why is nothing being done about it? Some of them are worded subtly, but others leave no doubt. Double room in return for your booty. Simple, no hassle business deal. So one landlord here has told me he'd expect sex a couple of times a week. Another one says he has a high sex drive, is very adventurous and has no limits. And he'd also expect you to surrender to him. Now that makes me feel really weird, and I'm doing this as a journalist. From his advert, I already know Tom is in his 60s and has a one-bed flat on the outskirts of Bristol. He's already sent me more than 50 emails, including a photo, keen to arrange a meeting. I already know part of the deal is sharing his bed, but I want to find out what else he's going to expect. When you say, have a play, have a bit of fun, what is it you mean sort of specifically?
Get embarrassed.
So I've just come back from a meeting with the landlord. And yeah, it was really and even talking about the idea of doing it made me feel so uncomfortable. A solicitor with expertise in this area doesn't think it's an open and shut case.
I'm not sure it is inciting prostitution. I think it's a grey area. They come forward and say, well, actually, I had to have sex with him. I didn't really have an option because he threatened me with eviction if I didn't sleep with him.
What would your advice be?
Or if you have to sort of grovel a bit and apologise to family or friends, just do it. It's not worth all the added stress.
You are extremely strict about age restrictions. You have young daughters, or you have had young daughters.
I have young daughters.
Yeah, and so if someone were to approach you...
They do, often.
Yeah, and what do you say?
No.
And you refer them on to social
I try
services?
to put them to the social services. There's a lot of 15, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds contact me on a regular basis. Yeah. I'm seeking an arrangement. I'm very forward, I'm very honest. I don't tell lies. I've been married, I have a family, but I find that modern-day relationships do not work. And if they do, they only work for a short period of time, and it's a lie.
So what is it you want? What are you looking for in your advert?
I'm
what do
looking
you
for
say?
fun. I have a very privileged life. I'm very privileged. I've worked very hard, and I still do work very hard. And I'm looking for... I've had 3 long-term arrangements.
Tenants?
Yeah, arrangements. They're not tenants. They don't... I mean, if it's a tenant, you're paying rent. They live rent-free. We have a set arrangement. And it takes a while to get that, 2 or 3 weeks. I want to spend some time with somebody, 3, 4, 5 days.
You are very open right from the word go. You say what it is that you want. You offer them rent-free. It is a friends with benefits kind of thing. And you also offer a fully stocked fridge.
Well, more than a fully stocked fridge. I offer them a life. I mean, I've had 3 long-term partners that have all got now their own businesses. One's got their own family. They're still in touch with me.
And do they have their
all
own...
talk to me. I'm not a pervert or something.
No.
Do they
have... You are.
I don't want to be married. I travel an awful lot.
Do they
I
have
a
their own...
fantastic life, and I want to share it.
Do they have their own room? I mean, would they...
Well, they couldn't do it. It's an arrangement. You sort the arrangements out between yourselves.
So you decide that?
Well, you've got a spare room, but you say you would rather...
I have spare house,
yeah,
or more.
So you'd rather that they shared your bed.
Yeah, of course.
So why women are going into this is because that they can't afford to get on the housing ladder, or they need a room over their head, or they've had argument. There might be somebody that's had an argument with their family and they suddenly need to move out. Them having sex with you, does it bother you that they're doing it for that reason rather than from the enjoyment of having sex and a fun sexual relationship from their point?
If there wasn't having a fun sexual, even when it comes down to sex, if we're having fun and having a good time, then I wouldn't really be there. And it's an arrangement between 2 adult human beings. I'm not looking for a 16-year-old and 18-year-old. I want someone of my own age. It's a very, very small part. I mean, you're talking, it's a fraction of what I'm offering. I'm offering a life more than anything. I'm offering an opportunity to improve your life. If it was the other way round and somebody gave me the same opportunity, I'd grasp it with both hands.
An investigative journalist. I'm going undercover to expose the landlords who offer shelter in exchange for sexual acts. It is happening everywhere.
Taking the human aspect out of it, and I'm treating it like a business transaction.
He said that the room's become available because it's his daughter's and she went to uni in September.
Sex for rent is wrong, it's cruel, it's immoral, and also it preys on the most vulnerable in society.
Websites such as Craigslist are being used by corrupt individuals to advertise for free accommodation in return for sex.
There has to be a clearer criminalisation around the sex for rent issue. At the moment, yes, there are laws, but they're really confusing and the victims don't understand them and the landlords don't even know that they exist. So until it's made clear that this is illegal, this is why, and this is how much time you could do for it, nothing else is going to be done.
I've been homeless for 2 years, staying at the Dorothy Day Center, couch hopping. I hate couch hopping because most of the time it's guys that I gotta go stay with and they think I'm gonna be some living pussy for them. You gotta sell yourself so you can be able to make it. Don't even know who my baby dad is. Yesterday, I thought I was having a miscarriage. I went to the emergency room, told me that my baby's okay for right now, but it could be a possibility that I miscarried. I've been here for 2 years. I came down here when I was 18 years old. They told me, like last year in February, that I was gonna be in a place. And I filled out the application. I went and saw the place. I went and paid the application fee and I was denied. Like they told me I was getting a house and then nope, I don't get no house. You stress and you have problems, and like as much as you want to be able to talk to people, you don't know who's your friends and who's just going to use stuff against you. Like I said, it's like a couch hop. They'd say, oh, you can come stay with me, just help out with some bills, and then it's like, bitch, take off your clothes, or if you don't, you have to leave. And then December, it's not so much fun to have to leave in the middle of the night when it's cold out.
Surviving sex.
Uh-huh.
I've been on the streets in New York for a couple months. Got in an argument with my adopted parents.
So now how are you surviving out here?
Barely, but you know, the sign.
A little bit of kindness?
Yep.
Where'd you sleep last night?
In front of a church.
Oh my gosh. What was your first day homeless like? When you first ran away and you realized you had no place to go?
Scary.
I think the hardest thing about being on the streets is probably being a female. My mom was a victim of domestic violence.
You shouldn't have to decide between a pad and having lunch.
Tampons and pads are so expensive here.
Napkin from a restaurant.
I do toilet paper and plastic bags, socks.
I used to be in a shelter, but I haven't been in one in a while because I don't drink and I don't do drugs anymore. And that's where most of the kind of crowd is, in a shelter.
I feel safer out on the streets than I would in a shelter.
One brought me a microwave burger and then said, do you want to come back to mine? I was like, no.
Welcome to my humble abode. It's a bit dark and a little bit smelly. We had the beautiful tenant.
How long have you been here?
About 3.5 months.
Yeah.
Well, we were in with a shelter bit, weren't we, in a tent. That was awful. That was really scary. In a tent when it can be quite scary. Well, probably not for you, because you're a male, but...
For a girl, yeah. So why were you evicted?
Because of the arrears. We lived here for 13 years.
Yeah.
We worked here for 7.
I've been on the street only about 6 months now. Feels like forever though. A lot of us come from the care system as well. I guarantee you every single homeless person been in care at one point. I went into care when I was 6. They came and actually took me from school, social services. I didn't even get to say goodbye to my mum.
For sleeping, I've realised it's what's about underneath you, not above you. Like, it's so cold, worked a couple of times, like, you haven't wanted to get out your sleeping bag, so you, like, literally wet yourself, like, thinking it would, like, help, like, do you know what I mean?
I think she prides herself on looking after herself and being quite independent, you know, strong.
A couple of weeks ago, I got beaten up by 2 guys here. Like, give me a black eye, fat lip, like, really bad teeth. Then one of them was like, you're lucky you're a girl. I'm thinking, what would you have done if I was a guy?
I left home when I was 16. My mum kicked me out because I got an apprenticeship. And since then, I've been trying to sort myself out accommodation. I left the night shelter on the Saturday before last Saturday because I just had enough. Got really pissed off with the place, got pissed off with Eastbourne.
It's my auntie's funeral tomorrow. I'm nervous to see my niece and nephew. My auntie was a big part of our family. She quite literally is in a better place now because life wasn't that good for her. She was on the streets and stuff, so. My mum likes it with our hair down because, like, being girls and stuff. My sister's got really long hair. I had a shower and sorted it because obviously we're in a room now, so I don't look homeless anymore.